we all know how a line looks like. Today we will learn how to represent a line in the form of a linear equation with two variables. Now the equation of a line has many forms. In this class we will concentrate mainly on two forms. We start with something which is called the general form or the standard form of the equation of a line, and it looks like this. This is a linear equation in the variables x and y, and a, b and c are any numbers. Give any values to a, b and c and you will get a line. For example, 2x plus 3y minus 6 is equal to 0. This is a line. X plus 4 is equal to 0. This is a line. What happened to the y? We took b to be 0. That is why we do not have a y coordinate here. This brings us to a very important point. A can be 0 or b can be 0, but both of them together cannot be 0. Why is that? This is a linear equation in x and y. So there has to be at least an x or at least a y. So both a and b together cannot be 0, but one of them at a time can be 0. So this is another line. Now x minus y minus 1 is equal to 0. This is another line. So just like this, by giving different values to a, b and c, you can get a multitude of lines, and you take any line on this earth, you can express it in this form. Now what are this x and y? So I will just consider this line. Okay, so in this line xy, the ordered pair xy represents any point that lies on this line. So suppose this is the line. So it will have a lot of points on it, right? So each point which you take, it should satisfy this condition. For example, if you take 4, 7, this is a point, right? Its x coordinate is 4 and its y coordinate is 7. So if this point lies on this line, instead of x put 4, instead of y put 7. So this condition should be satisfied. So 4 minus 7 is minus 3. Minus 3 minus 1 is equal to 0. That means minus 4 is equal to 0. This is an impossible thing to happen. So that means this point A, whose x coordinate is 4 and whose y coordinate is 7, this point does not lie on this line. But then you can find any number of points which lie in this line. What about 8 and 7? See, 8 minus 7 is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. What about 9, 8? And what about 7, 6? You can find any number of points which lie in this line. All you have to do is, if you substitute the first number instead of x, the second number instead of y, this equation should be satisfied. That is the first thing that you learn today. If you are given a point A, x1, y1, and you are given a line L which is ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. If you are given a point and given a line, this point will lie on this line L only if instead of x you put x1, instead of y you put y1. Only if this condition is satisfied. If this condition is not satisfied, A does not lie on L. So now the next thing we learn is how to draw this line in a two-dimensional plane. So we will draw the x-axis and y-axis, and randomly I will take this line now. Okay. And we will see how to draw this line in the xy plane. So first let us draw the xy plane. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So how do we draw this line on this plane? Give values to x and y. Put x is equal to 0 and find what is the corresponding value of y. And then put y is equal to 0 and find the corresponding value for x. Now, why are we doing this? Is just not one point enough? So Won't it be enough if I just find one point? The answer is no. There is an axiom which says that given one point, you can have any number of lines passing through it. It is an axiom. The difference between an axiom and a theorem is that in a theorem you need to have written proof, but axiom is pretty much, it is common sense. If you just find one line, you can find any number of lines passing through that line. So how many points do you need to get a unique line? The answer again is, in an axiom, you need 2 points. If you have 2 points, there can be one line and only one line. It will be a unique line. So this will be a unique line passing through these 2 points. So that is exactly what we are trying to find here. We are trying to find 2 points, or in other words, we are going to find 2 points which will satisfy this condition. We will plot those 2 points and then join them. The line which you get will be unique. So that line, this line will be the only line on the earth which passes through these 2 points. So let us start. So what do we do first? We put x is equal to 0. So 2x plus 3y minus 6 is equal to 0. If you put x is equal to 0, you get 3y, 6 take it to this side, so you get y is equal to 2. So when 0 is equal, when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 2, that means we have got the first point which is 0, 2. Now on to the second point. What is the second point? Now you put y is equal to 0 here. That means x is equal to 3. So the second point also we have got, it is the x coordinate is 3 and the y coordinate is 0. Now we have got 2 points which lie on this line, or in other words, we have 2 set of values which satisfy this particular equation. So we have got the 2 points. Let us mark them down. What is the first point? X coordinate is 0. Where is the x coordinate 0? X coordinate is 0 in the y axis. So here, see, here all x will be 0. So there 0, 2. This is your first point, which is 0, 2. What is your second point? Here the y coordinate is 0. Where is the only place where the y coordinate is 0? It is the x axis. We have explained it in detail in another video. I will share the link in the description box. So in the x axis, y will always be 0. So x coordinate is 3. So here you have the next point, 3, 0, which is B. Now join these 2 points. This is the line you need. This is the line 2x plus 3y minus 6 is equal to 0. It is a unique line. Now this is how you plot a point in the xy plane. How is that? Put x is equal to 0 in this equation, find y. Then put y is equal to 0 in this equation, find the corresponding x. So, and mark these points in the xy plane. If you have 2 points and you join them, you will get a unique line. What if when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, then there is nothing to worry. Just take one more value. I will show you an example. This usually happens when there is no constant in a line. For example, take a line, say 2x plus 3y, the same line but with no constant. Okay, now put x is equal to 0 here. What do you get? You get 3y is equal to 0. That means what? Y is equal to 0. What is the only number which when multiplied with 3 will give you 0? Y is equal to 0. So you will notice that whenever a line does not have a constant term, you will see that it lies in this. What point is this? What point is 0, 0? It is the origin, like this 0, 0. So you will study that in the next class, that whenever the constant is missing, 0, 0 or the origin is a point lying on the line. So then what will you do? Nothing to worry. Take some other value. Take x to be 1 and then take y to be 1 and then find the corresponding value. Here if you take x to be 1, what will be the corresponding value? Get 2 plus 3y is equal to 0. That means y is equal to minus 3 by 2. This 1 which is here, y is minus 3 by 2. That means it comes down. This is the negative side of the y-axis. So minus 1 is here. 3 by 2 is what? 1.5. Right? So it lies between minus 1 and minus 2. It lies here. So our x is here, our y is here, and they meet at this point. Okay? So the first point is the origin, and the second point is here. 0, 0 and 1 minus 3, 2. These are the 2 points that we have. Now join these 2 points and you get your unique line, which is this. Now what did we learn just now? We learned how to draw this line in the xy plane. How did we do that? We took x to be 0, found out what was y, that was 2. Then we took y to be 0 and we found out what x was, that was 3. Now, is it important that we have to take only 0? You can take anything, but there is something special and something very important in these values. What is it? The place where x is equal to 0 is the place where this line cuts the y-axis. Did you see that? Where is x equal to 0? X coordinate is 0 only in the y-axis. So when you take x is equal to 0, you will get the place where the line cuts the y-axis. Similarly, where is y 0? Y will be 0 only in the x-axis. So when you take y coordinate as 0, you will get the place where the line cuts the x-axis. That is why this is important. You get the place where this line goes and cuts the two axes. Now there is a name for it, and this brings us to our next form. First we learned the general form, right? So we are going on to our next form. That is something called the intercept form. So for that you have to first know what is intercept. What is intercept? There are two intercepts. There is x-intercept of a line and y-intercept of a line. What is the x-intercept? X-intercept is the plane where the line cuts the x-axis. Where does it cut the x-axis? Here, 3. Now, y-intercept is the place where y-intercept of this line. This is the line that we are dealing with, right? So the y-intercept of this line is the place where the line cuts the y-axis. Where does it cut the y-axis? 2. So this brings us to our next form, which is known as the intercept form, and that is given by x by x-intercept. What is the x-intercept? 3 plus y by the y-intercept. What is that? It is 2 is equal to 1. This is known as the intercept form. If you take any line, here we are dealing with positive, no? So here I will put the negative value. Suppose you have a line like this. So where does this line cut the x-axis? This is the x-axis. Where does this line cut the x-axis? It cuts it in -1. And where does this line cut the y-axis? It cuts it in -2. This is the negative side of the x-axis. This is the negative side of the y-axis. So y by -2 is equal to 1. Now this is known as the intercept form. You can always go from the intercept form to the general form and general form to the intercept form. That is why it is called form, right? The equation is same, but then that same equation we are writing in many ways. So this is one way. General form is one way, Intercept form is one way. You can always come from one form to another. And how do you do that? That is what we will learn next. This is our general form. This is our intercept form. How do we come from here to here? Let us first go from this place to this place. 3 and 2, what is the LCM? 6. 6 divided by, here you divide, here you multiply, right? 6 divided by 3 is 2. 2 into x is 2x plus 6 divided by 2, 3. 3 into y is 3y is equal to 1. 2x plus 3y, cross multiply there. You started with your intercept form. You have got your general form. Now, from the general form, how do you go back to the intercept form? Now, this you have to do it in steps. The first step is make this 1. How do you make this 1? Divide throughout by 6. For example, 7 plus 14 is equal to 21. If I divide throughout with 7, what happens? 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. The equation does not change. So that is what we are going to do. Both the LHS and the RHS we are going to divide by 6. 2x by 6 plus 3y by 6 is equal to 1. So we have got the one part correct. Next, you have to make, you see here, there is no coefficient here. Here it is 1, here it is 1. That is the next thing you are going to do. Get rid of this 2 from here. How do you do that? Suppose you have 2 by 3. If you multiply or divide anything to this, the value remains same. For example, 4 by 6 or 10 by 15 or 22 by 33. All of this have the same value. Why? Because we can multiply or divide both the numerator and denominator by the same number. Take this fraction first. So, divide both the numerator and the denominator with 2. That will get rid of your 2 here. X by 3, divide by 3, that will be this, there. See, you have got your intercept form. Let us find the general equation of a line that makes intercept -1 with the x-axis and -4 with the y-axis. We don't need a figure, but still, for clarity, how will this line looks like? It cuts the x-axis in -1. So that means here. The negative side of x is here. And it cuts the y-axis in -4. So -1, -2, -3, -4 may be here. Cuts it there. So if you join these 2 points, you will get a unique line, which is the line we are looking for. So this is the line we are looking for. It cuts the x-axis. The x-intercept is -1. But what is the point? The point needs to have a x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. What is the y-coordinate in the x-axis? Always 0. What is the x-coordinate in the y-axis? Always 0. So these are your 2 points. So you don't need any of this, but I just wrote it down for clarity. What do we have? We have x by x-intercept plus y by y-intercept is equal to 1. This is your line in the intercept form, but then that is not what is being asked. It is the general equation. So how do you find the general equation? Find the LCM of -1 and -4, which will be -4. -4 divided by -1 is 4. 4 into x is 4x plus -4 divided by -4 is 1. 1 into y is y. This is equal to 1. That means 4x plus y is equal to -4. That means 4x plus y plus 4 is equal to 0. This is the general equation. But what do we do? Check with the intercepts. If x is equal to 0, what will be your y? Put x is equal to 0, then y plus 4 is equal to 0. That means y is equal to -4. Next, put y is equal to 0. If y is equal to 0, then 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. That means 4x is equal to minus 4. That means x is equal to minus 1. So there you have the same intercepts that the question talks about. You have them here. Now come on to the second question. What is the second question? How to convert ax plus by plus c is equal to 0 in the intercept form. How do we do that? First, for the intercept form, what do you have to do? The constant has to be on the other side. So move the constant to the other side. Second, what do you do? Make the constant into 1. How do you do that? Divide throughout the LHS and the RHS with minus c. That you will get ax by minus c plus by minus c is equal to 1. So there, in the intercept form, you have got the 1 here. Next, you have to make the coefficient of x into 1. How do you do that? Take this fraction, divide both the numerator and the denominator by a. So that is minus c by a. Here you have y by minus c by b is equal to 1. There you have the intercept form. Right? These are the intercepts. So this line cuts the x-axis at a point minus c by a and the y-axis at a point minus c by b. With this, we come to the end of this lesson. What did we learn? We took an equation of a line and expressed it in the general form and in the intercept form. In the next class, inshallah, we will learn about something called the slope of a line. It is a very, very interesting concept. And with the slope, we will learn 2 more forms. One which is called the point slope form and another which is called the slope intercept form. Till I meet you next time, you take care. Assalamu alaikum.